Hello, I just put out this paper from one of the files, like from one of my past paper files, Biology Grade 12, 1590. Question number one reads, the diagram below shows part of the kidney. That's the nephron. The nephron is is a functional unit of a kidney. It's like the lungs. In the lungs, the functional unit is what? The alveoli. Okay, the alveoli. In the bone, the functional unit is the Haversian system. So this is the functional unit of the kidney. Name the structure labeled A and B. Therefore, A is Bowman's capsule, B is the diastole convoluted tubule, or the second convoluted tubule. This is your proximal convoluted tubule, also known as the first convoluted tubule. To be convoluted means to be folded the way they appear. This increases surface area for reabsorption of substances. Number B, what substance is found in higher proportion in C than in B? Therefore, C, that is your afferent artery. This is your efferent artery. That is your glomerulus, but you can learn that as you go on. But the thing is, what do you find in greater amounts here than there? You should take note, or should note to say here, glucose is reabsorbed. Ions are reabsorbed in the loop of Henle, then water is reabsorbed here. So the fact that water is reabsorbed, it means the volume of water in the tubule reduces. Okay, and even the water that remains to be part of urine to be passed out actually came from this here, because the filtration takes place here. Then so there's more water in C than in B. Okay, so what substance is found in higher proportion in C than in B? It's water. Okay, urea, no, there's more urea in B than here because it's being filtered out. When you talk of glucose, glucose is reabsorbed here. It's not healthy to have glucose in urine. Therefore, it's reabsorbed in the first convoluted tubule. What substance is found in higher proportion in B than in D? Urea. Okay. In B, there's more urea. In D, the urea would have been filtered out into the glomerulus filtrate or into the Bowman's capsule tubule here, the first convoluted tubule. So urea is higher in amounts in B than in D. Question number C. What is what is the importance of the difference in the diameter between C and D in the functioning of the kidney? Okay, my answer there is enables increase in blood pressure, which leads to ultrafiltration. Therefore, the afferent artery is wider in diameter and the efferent artery is narrower in diameter. So pressure is created because of the narrowing of the arterioles. Okay, the narrowing or the reduction in the volume of the arterioles, plus the fact that blood comes with high pressure. Pressure is increased in the glomerulus and beyond. Okay, there is more pressure there. Therefore, that is important for ultrafiltration. Okay, to force substances out of the glomerulus. Okay, so we get to the next question there. Urea is one of the main waste products formed in the bodies of mammals. A. Identify the source of this urea. Urea comes from the deaminated amino acids. Therefore, deamination of excess amino acids. When you take up food, you digest the proteins. Amino acids are never stored as amino acids, they are deaminated. Deamination involves removal of the amino groups, converting them to ammonia, then finally converting them to urea. The rest of the amino acid is converted to either glucose or lipids and stored, and excess glucose is stored as lipids. Therefore, once the amino acids are deaminated, the amino groups are the ones that are converted and resultantly turned to urea. In which organ is the urea produced? The liver. Deamination takes place in the liver. Name the organ that extracts the urea from the blood. The kidney. Therefore, the excretion of urea is in stages. The liver produces the urea, then the kidney removes the urea from the bloodstream. The next question is, outline the pathway taken by urea after extraction from the blood until it leaves the body. My answer reads, it is firstly of the glomerulus filtrate. Okay, it's firstly part of the glomerulus filtrate. It is firstly part of the glomerular filtrate. Okay, before passing to the proximal convoluted tubule, to the loop of Henle, the diastoconvoluted tubule, the collecting duct, pelvis, ureter, urinary bladder, and finally urethra, which leads to the outside of the body. That's the pathway of urea, just after it being removed from the blood via ultrafiltration. Next question, name two substances excreted by the lungs, that is carbon dioxide and water. Carbon dioxide and water. The water is in the form of water vapor. Each time we talk and each time we breathe out saturated air with saturated water vapor. So water and carbon dioxide or carbon dioxide. Number 3, the diagram below shows the vertical section of the human skin. That's our human skin. That's blood vessels, C, sweat gland, sebaceous gland, A, B there. Label the parts A, B, C. A, that's a hair fiber. B, that's the epidermis of the skin. And C, that's the hair erector muscle. The hair erector muscle, important for the erection of hairs in reaction to changes in temperature. We'll actually learn about that one later on in the following videos. B, after running for a marathon, your skin is wet and your face is hot. Why is your skin wet and face hot? And how does this help you to cool your body? And how does this help to cool your body? Skin wet due to sweating. Okay, skin is wet. I wrote wet there. Skin is wet due to sweating, and evaporation of sweat carries heat away. Therefore, it helps you cool that way. Face is hot due to heavy breathing. Taking in cool air cools the body as well. That is why dogs pant. Okay, they pant, and the panting helps them breathe in cooler air. Okay, it increases the volume of air being breathed in when they breathe in through the mouth. So the same effect, you're breathing hot air coming out will make your face feel hot. Number 2, how do you think the sebaceous gland help to keep the skin healthy? Sebaceous glands secrete oils to prevent skin from drying. Okay, secretes oil to prevent skin drying. Dry skin cracks, and cracked skin can be itchy and in some cases even painful. Below is a nerve cell. Okay, let's look at that nerve cell. Below is a nerve cell. There's part 2 there and part 1 there. Okay, part 2 and part 1 there. What type of nerve is in the figure above? That's a motor neuron. That is a motor neuron. Question B, name the parts labeled in the figure above. Therefore, there was part 1 and part 2. Therefore, part 1, that's a dendrite. Okay, that's a dendrite. There's a difference between dendrite and dendron. Okay, we'll look at that one later on. There's dendrite and dendron. Then part 2 is a Schwann cell. Schwann cells make or form what you call the myelin sheath. Myelin sheath. So number 2 is actually a Schwann cell. Or we can even say myelin sheath because the myelin sheath is actually made of Schwann cells. Question 5, which is our last question in this small paper. Study the diagram below which shows a section through the eye. Okay. A, label the following parts on the eye in the diagram above. Retina, I labeled my retina here, which is the darker inner layer retina. Optic nerve, that's my optic nerve right there. Blind spot, that's our blind spot right there, where no image gets to be formed. Okay, there are no optic cells there. There are no rods, no cones. It's a blind spot. Then the third part is iris. That is our iris there. In some people, the iris looks brown, some blue, and some greenish, hazel, and the like. Aqueous humor is found right there in front of the lens. Then how did I get to the blind spot? The blind spot is number last. Okay, I think I just went around like that. So finally, blind spot, and I've already pointed it out. Basically, that's that, and that's where our small paper ends in terms of our revisions. Have a good day.